Well, good morning from a beautiful sunny Pearland, Texas. Today, guess what? We are going to take Karen the Red Baron out for a little shakedown cruise after she had a little work done on her fuel system to make sure she was flowing correctly. And also, we rebuilt a mag on the right engine. We're going to be joined today by someone that you folks at Oshkosh would know extremely well. We'll wait to introduce him when he gets here in his Mooney. That's a little bit of a hint. Anyway, thanks for being in the holding pattern. We'll see you in a bit.
So, as some of you may have guessed, you're flying today with Pilot in Command Mark Magic Johnson. Yep, he was a F-117 pilot and an F-16 pilot with a tour in Iraq in 2003, and then he taught in T-38s. So we're privileged to have him. He's a frequent guest at Oshkosh, as he was this year. You will also see him racing L-39 Albatrosses in the Sport Gold Jet class if you go to Reno. So we're privileged to have him aboard today. The purpose of this flight, as we spoke about earlier, is to assess the effectiveness of adjusting the fuel flow on the right engine, which was running a bit rich on the ground. And we were determining whether or not she was running rich at all at altitude. So we're going to get ourselves up to about 7,500 feet, and we're going to take her through her paces and see how the guys at Coastal Aviation did. We're currently climbing out at Pearland Regional Airport just south of Houston, Texas, trying to stay below the Bravo space. I'm going to turn out to the west and fly down to the practice area, which is basically a bunch of oil fields southwest of Houston, Texas, almost down to the coast where Galveston is, and we'll be able to do some maneuvers out there without fear of interfering with any traffic that's navigating. Plus, we'll be clear of the Bravo space. So stay tuned. We'll be back with you in a minute. Meanwhile, enjoy the instrumentation. I focused on the instrumentation for two reasons. One, I like to look at that when I'm watching other videos, particularly with the Baron Pilot and Skyline Pilot and others. And number two, this is all about us learning whether or not the plane is performing as she needs to perform, rather than trying to be movie stars on the YouTube. So we're climbing out at 25 squared, which is pretty normal standard operating procedure for a Baron B-55 like Karen the Red Baron. Obviously, we will slowly start to add back throttle as Mother Nature starts to steal some manifold pressure from us. And as we get closer to the altitude that we're looking for, we'll be pretty much almost wide open throttle at that point. And then, of course, we'll start to lean back the mixture and be able to understand whether or not both engines are running like we want them to run. We'll look at the temperatures. We'll look at the exhaust gas temperature, of course, but we'll also look at the cylinder head temperature, and we'll look at the fuel flows very carefully to see whether or not we're matching up engine to engine. Since we have data from the last time we flew her before we had these adjustments made, we'll be able to make a very detailed comparison with the airplane this time around. So let's get up to altitude. We'll be back in a few minutes. Well, as you might be able to notice, we are passing through 6,500 feet up, as I spoke about earlier, to 7,500 feet. We will settle the plane down, lean her back, get some figures, and ensure that she is flown on the right side like we would expect her to, and that the exhaust gas temps and the cylinder head temps remain within normal operating specs for an IO 470 engine. After that, we'll descend back into Pearland, and so we'll get back to you in just a few minutes so we don't bore you with all the test pilot stuff here. Okay, so we're starting our descent back to Pearland Regional. As I think I mentioned earlier, we've got a couple of rings of Bravo airspace that we've got to get down and get under. It's been a very pretty day, very lush and lovely since we've had so much rain down here. It does get busy. Pearland Regional Airport happens to be a hub for students. So there are a lot of Piper P-28s and a lot of 172s flying around this airspace. So we'll get down to 1,500, and then we'll get back to you in a minute, and we'll land the airplane. Well, this is where we would normally, the Baron pilot and Fly with K and Skyline pilot would have a bunch of cameras underneath their Barons to show a beautiful landing, which they do all the time. In our case, we're going to watch a true American hero, F-16 driver, at the controls, and we're going to focus on how he handles the airplane from an instrumentation standpoint, and we'll save the pretty pictures and the pretty landings for future films. Enjoy.